Hello and welcome to today's webinar, Top 5 Most Underutilized Features in UKG Pro People Analytics, presented by Neosystems. I'm Don Carnevale, Marketing Director at Neosystems, and I'll be the moderator for today's event. If you have any questions during the presentation, you can enter them into the Q&A area within Zoom. We will have some time at the end of the presentation to answer your questions. Also, we will make the webinar recording and presentation slides available to all registrants in the coming days. Next slide, please. Now, we are fortunate to have a panel of distinguished speakers with us today. Joining us shortly will be Tafiq Habibi, Senior Vice President of Professional Services at Neosystems, Gregory Giancola, Vice President of People and Pay Solutions at Neosystems, and Kim Hyun, Senior Business Intelligence Consultant at Neosystems. Next slide, please. Here's a quick look at our agenda. We'll begin by looking at Event Studio. We'll then discuss key features in report scheduling and report bursting. Following that, we'll look at audit tables and finish up with dashboard features. Now let's get started. I'd like to hand off to Kim Hyun. Kim?
All right, thank you, Don, for the introduction. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. And let's get started. So our first underutilized feature is Event Studio. So what is Event Studio? It's a tool in BI that monitors data for specific conditions or changes. It automatically triggers actions such as email, notifications, and reports when your defined event happens. It proactively alerts your HR, payroll, or managers so they don't miss any critical changes. So think of Event Studio as your HR and payroll watchdog. It's always awake. It's scanning for important changes in your database, and it's acting before you even know you need it. So in a nutshell, it monitors the database for the condition that you set up. Once that condition hits, it will perform the task that you set up, such as your email notification or running a report or emailing out the report that you run. So why is this important? Because it means that your HR, your payroll, or your managers don't have to hunt for updates. The system alerts them in real time, so nothing slips through the cracks. Now, the biggest benefit is once you have everything set up, it's fully automated from beginning to end. So what are some of the common triggers that you can set up? Employee terminations or new hires, pay rate changes, expiring documents, unapproved timesheets, and overtime thresholds. And some of the typical actions, you can send a dynamic email, or you can run and deliver reports. So why is this powerful? It's powerful because it's very proactive. You're not waiting to discover any issues. You're alerted in real time. It's consistent. It's rules-based triggers, means nothing is left to human memory or chance. And it's also a big time saver. There's no need for you to log in every day, pull a report just to see if your condition exists. Okay, so here are some use cases for Event Studio. So the first one is a new hire. So let's say you set up a trigger for a new hire. Once a new hire is flagged in the system, you can automatically send a welcome email to them with their username and password and instructions on how to get into the system. Another one is a termination. You can send an alert to your IT and facilities so they can disable access and retrieve badges and laptops. You can set one up for performance review time. You can notify your employees when the performance reviews are upcoming and due. And you can flag for something like a direct deposit change to notify your employee of an account change that was flagged and instructions on how to complete the process. Again, the beauty here is automation. There's no manual monitoring and no missed tasks or deadlines.
And Kim, if I can interrupt here and just call out that with these use cases, you'll notice if you are very familiar with UKG, people to start with that these are not the standard use cases, if you will, right, that are natural with the notifications that are found within that product and the workflow. This could be used to really communicate effectively out to other groups within your organization.
Thank you, Gregory. And here we have a screenshot of where you can access Event Studio. You would go to the same area where you would create a report or a dashboard, and it's under this other menu, other applications, and then your companion applications, Event Studio. And here we have a sample alert for a direct deposit change. So we had a customer ask us to set up an email notification to their employees whenever a change to their direct deposit was flagged in the system. So this is kind of a screenshot from Event Studio. This is how you would set up your triggers up top here. So once this condition hits, it will then execute the task, which is the bottom screenshot here. So in this case, we're sending out a dynamic email to the user that had their direct deposit changed. Now you can see highlighted in red are the dynamic features of the email. So when I say dynamic, that means that you're not hard coding these fields. They're pulled straight from the database. So for example, if their email changes, you don't have to go in and retype their email address. It'll automatically pull the correct one. Same thing with their name. In this case, the customer wanted, they didn't want a generic to whom it may concern email. They wanted to display their name here. Okay, so once they trigger for the direct deposit change, they will then get this email. And I'm sorry, I had to blur out some of the identifying names and stuff, but you can kind of see the personalized email that they would get in that case. Okay. So Event Studio is great for reacting to changes in real time, but what about information that needs to be sent on a set schedule? This is where scheduling comes in. Now, report scheduling is exactly what it sounds like. You set your reports to run daily, weekly, monthly, or on a custom date. And you can deliver reports by email, or you can save them online for users to access. You can send in multiple formats like PDF, Excel, or CSV, or HTML. You can configure delivery methods to support bursting, which is sending customized sections to specific users. And you can schedule long-running reports to run after hours. You can align delivery with key business dates like your pay periods or your compliance deadlines. So it's all about making sure the right reports get out without having anyone having to remember to log in and run the report. And here we've just included a screenshot of the configuration screen. There's 4 main sections here. You have your frequency up top. You have your time period, your report format, and then the delivery down here. And again, with report scheduling, your emails are going to have to be hard coded versus the dynamic feature like in Event Studio. Okay. So scheduling gets even more powerful when we pair it with our next feature, which is report bursting. So what is report bursting? It's a BI feature that splits one report into personalized sections for different recipients. The report will run one time, and it filters data based on rules, and it sends each user only their slice of data. So why would people use this? Well, it automates delivery of information. It saves you time by reducing manual filtering. You're creating one report versus multiple copies for each recipient. So kind of think of report bursting like slicing a cake. You bake it once, and then you cut and serve the right piece to each person instead of baking a separate cake for everyone. So report bursting does require some configuration within the report, and you do have to enable it when you set your delivery methods. So core functionality, again, you run a single report one time. It applies filters, or what we call burst keys, to create personalized outputs. And a burst key could be something like a manager, a department, or an employee. And then it distributes each slice of the report automatically to the right recipient. Why is this a time saver? It eliminates the need to create and maintain multiple versions of the same report. It reduces the risk of sending someone data that they should not see. And it frees up BI and HR teams from repetitive manual filtering and emailing. Okay. So here are some common uses for report bursting. Managers getting only their team's data. HRBPs getting info by region or department. Employees getting individual statements or letters. And the typical examples below are payroll summaries by manager, team timesheet status by department, compliance audit reports by business unit, and total compensation or bonus letters by employee. So the business impact, it streamlines your reoccurring reports like timesheets, compliance audits, and payroll summaries. It keeps information timely and accurate without extra administrative effort. And bursting can be combined with report scheduling and Event Studio for a fully automated targeted delivery. Okay, so here is an example. We had a customer ask us to set up some merit increase notifications. So they wanted us to set up a report to burst to each employee to give them a personalized report that shows their merit increase. So here you can see in red are what's personalized to the employee. So we have this merit increase letter to this employee named Roger, and it displays his address. And then down here, his pay basis, if he's a salaried or an hourly employee, his previous pay rate, his merit increase, and then the new pay rate. So again, each employee gets their own personalized slice of the report. Okay, so our next section is audit table reporting and alerts. Okay, so in UKG Pro, an audit table tracks changes made to system data over time. Audit tables are system generated and maintain a historical log for compliance, troubleshooting, and analysis. Here's a screenshot of the package of where you can find the audit tables. And so think of audit tables as your system's black box recorder. They capture the behind the scenes log of every important change. So you can see who did what, when, and how. Now using BI, you can query these audit tables to build reports that show who changed what, when it was changed, the original value versus the updated value, and which fields were impacted. So we put some examples down here. So general changes to employee master record, like name, address, phone number, job changes, department position manager, pay related changes like salary and pay rate, benefit changes like benefit plans and dependents, direct deposit changes, and new or updated orgs. One note I did put down here is that UKG Pro does require some additional configuration for audit tables.
And if I can just chime in real quick there with a little bit more explanation on that. So UKG People Center does come with a lot of the features for audit already enabled, but organizations do have the ability to go in and review and have the option to turn on additional audit features. You would need to work with your system administrator, and they would need to go under the system configuration section and hit the auditing table and then review all of the tables that are out there that you would want to further enable for future auditing.
Thank you, Gregory. So you can pair your audit tables with Event Studio to create automated alerts when sensitive fields change. So like in our example before, the direct deposit routing numbers would be a good example of that. Just a quick note about the audit tables. The raw data on these tables can be quite complex. So you do need some BI skills to be able to translate that data into readable reports. And these tables do grow quite large over time. So you have to be cognizant in filtering the data by date range to improve performance. All right, and then we're going to talk about some use cases for the audit tables. So compliance and regulatory audits. The audit tables help meet requirements for SOX, HIPAA, and other regulations by maintaining an unalterable history of changes. For troubleshooting data issues, it quickly pinpoints who made a change and when, which reduces the time spent tracking down data errors. Change approval monitoring, it identifies changes made without proper approval. Trend analysis, you can use these audit logs to analyze patterns over time, such as frequent department reassignments or reoccurring pay adjustments. And you can also use the tables for security and access audits to validate the sensitive fields are only updated by authorized personnel. And so the next couple screens are just showing some examples of some of the audit reports we've created in the past. This one is an org changes audit report. We had a customer ask us to create a report that has a look back of 7 days, scheduled every Friday, that shows all of the org changes for that week. So in this case here, you can see that this first line, action taken, was an update. So you can see the old org description and then the new org description. And then the remaining lines in this report are inserts, and there's no old org description. So that means that this is a brand new org that was added. And then here in purple, you have the username, which tells us who exactly made this change. So if you see any issues, you can go to that person and kind of investigate what happened. Okay. And then our next example here is just an employee job changes audit report. So this report captures job changes like supervisor changes, job code changes, salary and hourly, and org levels. So here, if we just take a look at the data, let's look at the first line, for example. We have Courtney Belmont. She looks like she had a supervisor change on July 10th. You can see the old value description displays her old manager, and the new value shows her new manager. And then you can see over here the username of the person who made that change, Barbara Milton. So again, you can follow up with the person who made the change to see if it's valid or not. And then down here, you can see there's a lot more changes for this person, these people. Okay, so when you pull all of these together, Event Studio for real-time alerts, scheduling for regular delivery, bursting for personalization, and audit tables for historical tracking, you can start to see how much of your reporting process can be automated, accurate, and efficient. Okay, so our next section, I'm going to hand over to Tawfiq to talk a little bit about dashboards.
Thank you, Kim. I'm going to steal your share as well. So I'm going to share my screen. Can everybody see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay. So next topic is going to be related to dashboards. So what are dashboards? They are a data visualization tool that provides key insights and metrics that are typically relevant to an organization or a department or a team or even a process within the organization. The interactivity through the use of these visualizations, such as charts, graphs, tables, and maps, you can all assemble on a single screen. You can assemble them on multiple tabs or even as an infographic. Um, you typically build these with the dashboarding tool that is available from BI. It's a very simplistic drag and drop interface where you can just drag and drop the data that you need, drag and drop the visualizations that you need, and basically build your dashboard relatively easily. A key feature of the dashboarding capabilities in BI is this automatic interactivity. And I'm actually going to probably here shortly tempt fate and actually attempt a real life demo because I want to show you the tool from a developer standpoint, not necessarily from a consumer standpoint. We typically use dashboards for the automatic interactivity, the rich visualizations that it provides. And typically a dashboard is designed to give you access to important key performance indicators related to the organization or the department or the team without having to run multiple reports in the environment, without having that static reporting. You basically have the ability to interact with the data and basically slice it and dice it. So a couple of common uses of dashboards. Obviously, executives and leadership typically love them. They want to get a snapshot of how the business is doing. So you typically give them real-time visibility into these KPIs, things like headcount, turnover, labor costs. Folks in payroll and finance would want to track things like summary, any pay period variances or discrepancies, maybe comparisons of budgets versus actual. Another use case would be compliance tracking. You want to make sure that folks are maintaining their training certifications and or their license renewals, for example, or whether they adhere to policies or they've taken the relevant training from an HR standpoint. You can build all sorts of dashboards to actually interact with and consume that way. This particular sample I'm showing you here is one of the built-in dashboards that comes with UKG Pro. I've included the path to that dashboard. It's known as the diversity dashboard. And you can see it there in your environment as well. This will obviously, when you run it, reflect your data. But in this sample, we're looking at diversity. And we have a very visually rich dashboard that has multiple tabs, as you can see up here, where you can look at diversity by gender, by ethnicity, and so on and so forth. Okay, and here's the another tab on that same dashboard. Again, this is the canned dashboard, but you can make a copy of it and modify it, or you can even create your own. And so with that, I'm actually going to switch out and switch to a live environment with some sample data. This is the same diversity dashboard that we have open, but I wanted to demonstrate two things. First of all, that interactivity between the data within the dashboard, and then I'll show you what the dashboard tool looks like from the back end in case you decide to explore it or try to build your own. So an example of that interactivity is that this data, if I click on example here, I'm looking on the overview. This has a chart that shows female versus male employees. And you can see here my company has a total of 49 employees, 20 of which are females and 29 are males. And if I happen to click on the bar here, the blue bar for females, you should see that the chart highlights the females. And if you notice, my number of employees updated was automatically filtered based on that item that I clicked on. So that interactivity is actually automatic. The BI tool, which is based on Cognos, obviously automatically understands the relationship between the data and will automatically build that interactivity within your dashboard. So you don't have to do anything more than point and click to the data items that you need. If I come in here and click, for example, on the male bar, you can see here that the update changed to the number of employees that are male, which in turn returns 0 total females and 29 males. And then if I click again, it'll reset that visualization. And then we can look at our data as well here with different genders. So FLSA type by gender, average annual salary by gender, employee breakdown by gender. And again, you can slice and dice that information. So if I click on female on this visualization, you'll notice all the other visualizations, either the items are highlighted or are filtered and will update automatically. So I'm going to switch this dashboard back to edit mode real quick. I just wanted to show you what the development environment looks like for creating these dashboards. And we have 4 tabs that we have access to. The first one would be your data sources. In this example, this dashboard, they're using the My Employee package, but you can use any of the packages that are available to you for report authoring in the UKG environment. You can also create custom calculations. So for example, here they've built a custom calculation inside of this dashboard. And this is no different than what you would do typically in your reports, but you can build expressions, for example. So if the package doesn't support the data that you're looking for, you can extend it by adding your own calculations. As in this example, they've added some age banding based on different ages and ranges of ages to create their own custom grouping. So this is, again, no different. If you are familiar with the report authoring tools, this is no different than the expression editor that is available in the reporting studio. We also have access to a slew of functions here that we can use as well to derive additional information if we need to. So those are all available to you as well within the dashboarding tool. We also have the ability to pin visualizations that we might use elsewhere. So for example, if I was interested in in this employee breakdown by gender visualization, I can actually select the pin option here from this toolbar and pin that visualization to it so I can use it elsewhere. So for example, let's say I can go to another dashboard that I want to build or even want to move it to another tab within my dashboard. So I'm going to add another tab here to my dashboard. We'll pick this layout. And now that I've pinned this visualization, I can drag it and drop it in here and reuse it. And I can use it in the same dashboard, or I can use it in a different dashboard. And then the third tab is giving us a list of all of the visualizations that we could use. You can have area charts, bar charts, column charts, bullet charts, KPIs, legacy maps. You can have geographic data that you can display, for example, employee locations, facility locations, and what have you. So there's a huge number of visualizations that you could use to include on your dashboard. And that also includes very simple things like summaries or even tables and crosstabs as well. Although not overly encouraged, right? They want you to use interactive visualizations, but you have access to a lot of these items in here. And then finally, you have some custom visualizations or components that you can add. So you can embed, for example, text to annotate your data in the dashboard. You can embed images or graphics. You can embed your logo, for example, to customize the dashboards. You can even embed other media like YouTube videos or even share links to other websites that you can use. And then we have a couple of, I guess, icons here that we can use. And these are typically data-driven as well. Okay. So again, a quick explanation of the dashboarding tool in the hopes to show you how simple it is to actually use it if you should choose to build your own dashboards. All right. Excuse me. So in summary, we've talked about some of the, or at least 5 of what we consider underutilized features. We talked about Event Studio and how you can use that to be a kind of a watchdog. We talked about scheduling reports where you can introduce automation, where, you know, after every month or after every payroll cycle or after every enrollment cycle, you don't have to go in there and run reports manually. You can automate these reports and you can combine that scheduling capability with the bursting capability to deliver, for example, enrollment summaries to all the department managers that you have. So you can take advantage a lot of these tools to improve and enhance automation and reduce the workload on your staff to actually distribute and disseminate this information without having people to log into UKG or even know anything about it. You can deliver that automation. You can automate the delivery in the formats, whether it's Excel, whether it's PDF, whether it's HTML, and you can deliver that information basically at any time you wish to deliver it. We also talked about the audit tables and how